Alright, so let me get around here and show you real quickly what we have growing, how it's coming along here in our vegetable garden. A lot's been growing quite well here in our new house, so let me get around and start showing you with my little boy what we have growing. Alright, so over here we have our one bed that we built that has our tomatoes and peppers in it. This bed, I just bought the soil, and all I did was add some organic fertilizers to this. I didn't add any compost or anything, and it is growing very well. It's a little bit slower than our other area where I have planted, but it's coming along very well. The sun is a lot less than full sun all day over here, but they are growing nonetheless. Tomatoes are coming along. There are flowers on the plants, and I think one of the tomatoes here, small cherry-sized tomato over here, has some one tiny little tomato growing on it, but eventually we will have some tomatoes on this plant. And then if I keep on coming around here, so that's our bed we built there. If you remember back past video, I may next year add some cow manure and compost and things to this soil. I didn't really amend it. I just used the stuff that I loaded up at the local soil place, and I probably should have amended it, but I was trying to save money. I spent enough building this thing. So next year we'll add some more amendments to that soil. If come around this way, on this end we have our big sunflowers that will eventually start growing, and on this trellis I put up here, as you can see, these are our different pole beans, and scarlet runner beans are planted in this area. And then down over here is all different varieties of cucumbers. So those come along, and then a few more sunflowers growing on that end as well. So that is some of what we got growing over here. Now let me come over to our next vegetable gardening area and show you how it is growing as well. Then here's our herb bed we planted a while back. We got some tarragon growing there, thyme, oregano. This is a curry plant back here in the back. It smells like curry. Chives and some rosemary down there at the end. So there's just a quick view of our herb bed growing and coming along pretty well. Alright, so here's our other gardening bed. As you can see, everything's filled in, growing quite nicely. In this bed here, this is our green stalk garden tower, vertical gardening that we have. If you've seen that in my past videos, but this, we planted some bare root strawberries probably a few weeks ago, and they are really growing very well. And I already got some blooms growing on them as well, as you can see here. So I think these will turn out very well. Quite a bit of growth on these bare root strawberries. They grew quite quickly for wasn't sure what to expect planting bare root strawberries, but they are doing very well here on our vertical gardening green stalk bed there. We come over this way, we have our planted three more tomatoes in this bed. I wanted to compare the difference between tomatoes growing in this vegetable garden bed versus the other bed to see how they're doing, and already these seem to be doing much better. Mainly for one, I did use our existing soil and amend it with a lot of cow manure and compost and other things, as you've seen in the past video. Plus this bed has a lot more sunlight throughout the day, so sunlight and probably better soil than the other, but it's growing very well. A lot of blooms, nice thick foliage, and hopefully we'll have some tomatoes setting pretty soon on there. I got a couple of Tomatillo plants. That was the last thing I planted there. It's quite small still. We got 2 rows of bush beans, green beans here growing, and then over here is we got a squash and a zucchini plants there coming along. All this we planted from seed over here, minus the tomatillo and tomato plants. And then of course we got over here, this is a one eggplant found at the nursery. I went ahead and stick that in there, had a little bit of free space. And then these are watermelon plants. We'll see if they grow. I've never had the best luck growing watermelon, but they're slowly growing. They're pretty slow to grow. they'll start growing a lot better once the heat of the summer comes in. And then I moved or transplanted out some of the Swiss chard that I had from the other bed where the trellis was growing, is where I had at first planted that, and we moved it over here. So there's just some of that vegetable bed. There's what we got growing on. I got to get a different water hose mount. As you can see, this thing's just not holding up. This little plastic thing is, I want to get a reel. I saw some reel water wheels that we can hang up and reel it up. Pretty nice looking. So stay tuned on maybe switching that out and moving this out of my gardening bed to walk into the bed is kind of trampling down. Got to be very cautious not to knock down our plants with the hose, although we don't use it that much since we do have this drip system. This is hooked up to our sprinkler line. This is the drip line here, as you can see. So that is how that's being mainly watered. So there's just a little bit of what's growing in our vegetable garden. So hopefully y'all are doing well in y'all's gardens, and hopefully this will inspire you to grow some more. So make it a great day.